So I've been having such a hard time trying to figure out what new camera to buy. It just got a lot more complicated. I got a call from a new client a few days ago looking for a videographer to come to Mexico for a week. This is super rad. I'm excited to go. I love to travel. The problem is, where we're going, there's no electricity. And if I'm going to be filming at night at all, then my little GH4 ain't gonna cut it. So in Is the GH5s for You Part 2, I said that I was leaning really heavily towards the GH5 and the GH5s was totally out. But now the tables have changed. This is the second job I've gotten that's required me to get pretty much dark footage. And so I'm now in the market for a low light camera. So today I'm gonna go to the camera store, I'm gonna play with some new cameras, but first I need to do some work.
So since I'm working anyway, I thought it would be fun to screen cap one of the kinds of projects I work on every week to show you a little bit of my workflow. I work with green screens all the time, and I think I have a few tips that I wish somebody else had taught me when I was just starting out with this stuff. So this is technical, just skip ahead if you don't care. First off, if you work in video, organize your footage. First thing, you will have to go back and find something at some point. So no matter what apps or methods you use to get the job done, being able to find it later is a must. I actually use Finder for all of this, and I have a labeling system that gives me exactly what I need to search quickly. If I'm doing talking heads, like right here, I cut all of my green screen footage in Premiere and then nest it all before I send it out to After Effects. If it's a big project, I actually bounce it instead of nesting it so that it works faster, but this one is super short and it won't be an issue. By the way, I always drive with both hands, and by that I mean I have my left hand on the keyboard and my right hand on the mouse. Just learn your keystrokes and you'll be able to edit way faster than if you were always diving in menus for actions and tools. Oh yeah, and here's the most important thing I've discovered that I've not seen anywhere else. If you maybe don't have the most perfectly lit green screen ever, like I never do, just go to the HSL secondary tab, Lumetri, whatever, the color portion of Premiere, and make a mask of the green screen and even it out there. It makes selections in After Effects so much faster. Once you're in After Effects, the easiest way to key the screen out is to go down to the bottom level of footage in your comp and open it up in a second window and turn off the render option in the bottom right corner of that window. Then go back to the top layer of your comp and add key light from the effects panel to this and then make your selection over here. You could turn your main panel to status now in the key light menu and see your selection in real time. What? Oh yeah, and another tip. I used to think key cleaner was garbage, but if you adjust the additional edge radius down to something more reasonable than the default of 10, you'll end up with much better results when you're keying long hair. So there's that. Now, back to cameras. So if you've been following this little journey of mine through what my buddy Jonathan Holdsworth calls gear acquisition syndrome, by the way, sub to him for amazing cinematograph content, then you know that starting with the announcement of the GH5s, I've been thrown for a loop. See, I need to buy a new camera. My main shooters are a loaner and an 8-year-old 60D, which just can't keep up with client work. The GH5s is a lovely machine that ticks a ton of boxes for me. Its sister, the GH5, is also great and shapely, and the sordid love triangle was rounded out by Canon because of their autofocus, lens selection, and the depth of field offered by a 35mm sensor. Let's not get into that debate now.
Yeah, it's a two-pot of coffee sort of day. I always really stress out about purchase decisions, but this is a little special because since I'm leaving for Mexico in less than a month, and I don't want to spend $400 renting stuff, the GH5s isn't out yet, I can't rent that, so I have to rent Sony. So where I'm kind of at is, do I gamble on the GH5s pre-order coming in before I leave, or do I just switch to...
Johnny, you might want to click away.
The This is all very stressful, and I'm ready to start making videos about something else, but I wanted to be genuine on this channel, and so I'm just gonna do what I normally do. Drink tons of coffee, and talk about junk that I think about all the time.
It was time to do something drastic. Well, something drastic for me.
Crazy day. I know this episode has been really random, but that's how I feel right now. All my thoughts are a mess. It's mind-boggling. It's like when all your thoughts get all trapped up like in a bottle. I had started this day thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and pre-order a GH5s, and I had always thought, even years ago, that the next body that I was going to get was going to be either Canon or Panasonic. I had no idea how much of an emotional investment I had in these two companies and the things that they make. But now, all of that has changed. All of that is thrown out the window. When I picked up the A7R III, I liked it. As a filmmaker, what I do is tell stories, and the tool that you use influences how you tell those stories, right? The things that it can or can't do, the things that it's good at, and how fast you are at making those things happen influences what you're going to do when you're setting up for shots, and the tool that you use changes that. Part of the way my style has developed has been alongside my understanding of the GH4 as a camera. And when I shot that last episode with the 60D, yeah, it lowered the resistance to making a thing, but it also looked really bad because I wasn't used to the tool. And a tool that allows me to do new things and to be more of a chameleon and to just drop a body onto a glide cam and be able to let it autofocus so that I can get a shot as a one-man band filmmaker is priceless and makes me really excited. And isn't that what a camera should do? Make you more excited to create films? I think so. I'm torn. I'll probably still get a Panasonic who am I kidding? I'm gonna buy an A7R III.
On?
Yeah.
It's already on and it's recording right now?
Yeah.